In this video, we're going to do 11.01 shipping cost. All right, so I have it downloaded and opened up in Racket. So let's just get started. All right, so here is problem A. Notice the data definitions for standard, express, and international are done. All right, we're going to view that shortly. Finish the uncompleted steps X of data design above for shipping method. So just the examples and the template step, right? Like so. All right. So let's review the data definitions for standard here. So define struct standard has a weight, right? So standard is make standard, and that weight is a number, represents a package sent via the standard charge, right? And this is the weight of that package. Okay. And here is the axis signatures, right? So standard dash weight when given a standard, produce a number, and here's the template. Let's move on to the next one. So define struct express has a weight and a distance. This is how you make it. Those two are both numbers. Represents the package sent via a express charge. And distance is how far to the destination that it will be traveling, which will be used to incur extra charges. These are the accessor functions to get those numbers out. And here is the template for that. Next is international. So define struct international also has a weight and a distance, and they represent a package sent via international charge. The distance is how far to the destination, which we use to incur extra charges. So very similar to the express charge above, right? Except it's an international charge method, right? So this is the accessor functions, and here's the template. All right. So we get to the meat of the problem. Union shipping method is one of these, right? And the interpretation is a set of shipping methods. So pause the video and try to do step 3 of the how to design data, right? I'm going over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So step 3 is just really come up with examples. So let's just go over it together. So really, we just need to come up with some examples here of the standard, express, and international. So, define stand 1, we'll say make standard 23, and that's the weight, right? 23 pounds. So express, right, is going to be make express, and we'll say 33.21. So 33 is the weight and 21 is the distance, right? If I am not mistaken, weight and distance, like so. All good. So next is the international example here. So we'll call it inter1 make international, right? And then 40, 33, right? We're just coming up with numbers here that are valid. And this is pretty good for the data example step. Done. Gonna mark myself off for that. Now do step 4, a function template that processes this data, right? Write a function template that processes a shipping method. Pause the video. I'll go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So now let's go over it together. So how do you write a template for a shipping method? Well, shipping dash temp is going to be a template that consumes a shipping method. And we don't know what it'll produce yet, right? So let's lay out all the pieces that we'll need for problem B. So shipping temp and all functions that, consume a shipping method. So let's just call the input variable SM, right? We're just taking the first letters of the shipping method here. And likewise, since this is a one of, right, we're going to need a cond with 3 cases of that match that one of, right? So cond 1, 1, 2, and 3. Now the questions are going to be, is the shipping method that we're getting into this function a standard? And we can ask that by standard, right? So what are we going to do if it is a standard? Well, we want to take the pieces out, right? So likewise, let's just scroll up and copy the template of it over here, right? Like so. And we're just going to paste that in, right? We want to get the weight out most likely in our branch here, all right? And it was named stand up there for the template for standard, for the standard template. So we should rename this because now it's taking a shipping method, which could be a standard, all right? All right, let's move on to express. So express, right? So is the shipping method using the express method, right? Express method to ship, right? If it is, right, then what do we want? Well, we will likely want to take it apart. So here it is. Let's just copy it and paste it down like so. And likewise, the input variable needs to change like so, because it's SM now. Last case, international. Okay. So we ask, is it an international, huh? International, huh? All right, if it is, we want to take apart the structure like so. So I'm gonna copy that and paste it in and rename the input variable SM like so. SM and SM. All right, and that is the template done. Gonna mark myself done for that template. All right, now let's move on to problem B. So functions, all right. So problem B, design a function shipping-cost that consumes a shipping method and produces the cost of the given shipping method with the following formulas. So if we get a standard, then we're going to multiply the weight of that standard, right? And multiply by 1, right? Express, right? If you're using the express shipping method, then we're going to take the weight of that package and multiply it by the distance times 2. And international is weight times distance times 5. And they gave us the signature to start. Anyways, trying to go through the design process for functions. I'm going to go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm going to assume that you guys took a good swing at it. So signature is already done. Next is the purpose. So the purpose is going to be, let's say, produces the price of what is being shipped via, and then we're just going to copy this down. All right, like so, because it's pretty good from the problem statement alone. All right. All right, so signature, purpose, stub. Let's stub this out. So define shipping cost. Define shipping cost takes in the shipping method and produces a number. So let's just use 0 as a dummy number because we're going to run them against our examples. So check expect shipping-cost. All right, so we can use our examples above, right, of standard. So again, since I need to scroll up and down, right, I recommend you guys can write the examples that you write above. But for me, I have to keep scrolling up and down. It's confusing because the font is too large. So I'm going to copy it down here. All right, highly recommend you use the variables of the examples you define because it's going to make things much easier going forward. And going forward, we're going to have, much more complex problems. Anyways, shipping-cost of the standard, right? So what do we expect this to produce? Well, they gave us the formula here. We want to take the weight and multiply it by 1. So multiply the weight by 1, like so. Let's do a check expect shipping cost of, what was the other one? Let's see, it was express, right? So it's defining exp1. So I'm going to copy that down. So we don't have to keep scrolling up and down here. And likewise, what should this produce, right? What do we expect this to do? Well, we take the weight, multiply it by the distance, and 2. So it's going to be the weight, so 33 times the distance times 2, right? So 33, and then distance is 21, and then 2, right? You could wrap these in parentheses, but since we know that these are positive numbers, multiplication is commutative. So these parentheses here kind of don't matter. They do matter if these numbers are negative though. All right, just a quick heads up. All right, let's do one last one for the international. So check, expect, shipping-cost, make international, right? So it was 40 and 33, like so. So, and what do we expect this to produce? Well, based on the purpose, times weight times distance times 5, right? So times the weight. So the weight of this is 40, distance is 33, right? And then it's multiplied by 5 because that's how much we are charging to ship internationally. Okay, gonna run this against the stub. So they get a Oh, I forgot to close this parenthesis here for the template. It's all good. I should write S in here as well because I forgot that. Okay. I'm gonna run this. A lot more errors here. It's all good. Okay. Finally, we get this. Okay. So we're all good. So that is signature purpose stub examples done. So I'm going to mark myself done for those. Like so. So signature purpose stub examples are done. What else? Template. Step 3. So we ran it and it's just mismatches, so it's fine. We're going to copy this template like so. Paste it down. Rename this function like so. Okay, so now really pause the video and try to work on this on your own, right? Because next is coding the body, and that is the hardest part. I'll go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So coding up the body, right? Hopefully all this should have been the mental scaffolding needed. So looking at through it all, right? We see that for our standard, we need to multiply the weight times 1. So we have the weight here, and we're just going to multiply it by 1, like so. Okay. Next is the express, right? If you're shipping via express, we want to multiply the weight times the distance times 2. So here's the weight, right? Here's the distance, and here's 2. We need to multiply those together, like so. And lastly comes international, right? So that is weight times distance times 5. So here's weight, distance, and then we're going to multiply it by 5, and like so, and all the tests should pass. Run it, and all 3 tests pass. So that is coding up the body done. Test review and refactor. So we just tested it. I'm going to hit Control I to re-indent anything, and run it again. Everything works all nicely. All right, so hand it into the shipping cost and make sure it passes the tests for the grader. All right, that is about it for this one, and I will catch you in the next one.